I'm going to show you how you can get your fire alarm license even if you have no fire alarm experience. So by the end of this video, you'll understand how many hours you need, how to take the state exam, and where to submit your application so you could be an approved fire alarm contractor. So let's get straight into it. Here's my License Navigator cheat sheet. I'm going to leave a link in the description so you can download so you could actually know what the exact steps you need to take in order to get your fire alarm license. I want you guys to stay on track, so make sure you download that cheat sheet. I'll leave a link in the description. Now, the License Navigator is just step 2 inside of the Fire Alarm Business Blueprint. The Fire Alarm Business Blueprint is there to help you, to guide you, to take you from not knowing how to actually run and operate a fire alarm company to actually winning your first contract, whether it be commercial or government. So the License Navigator is the second step within this course to show you how you get your fire alarm license even if you have no fire alarm experience. If you don't know by now, my name is Anthony Richardson. I'm the fire alarm expert. I started out over 25 years ago with Fire Quench, and since then I worked with various companies that got certified on panels like Simplex, Edwards, Kitty, Software House, and S2. So I knew in order for me to make some money, I had to separate myself from everybody else. So every company I work with, I made sure they sent me to training, whether it be fire alarm or security. So in 2017, I got my fire alarm license. Then I started security. Since I thought I was a good technician, had all these certifications, I could fix all these panels, I can go outside and just do this for business easy. So the summer 2017, like 6 months after I started my business, I didn't know what to do. Everything came crashing down. I exhausted all the money out my 401k. Me, my wife, and my kids almost got kicked out the house. So I didn't know what to do. So I started to go to YouTube University just to try to figure out where I was going wrong within my business. And what I found out was 3 things that I was actually doing wrong within my business. And the first one is thinking that since I had a technical background, I was able to transfer that into a business background. I had no business acumen. I didn't know nothing about business. And the second thing was I had to develop and create a marketing strategy. That was the hardest thing I had to do. But once I was able to understand how to complete it, it was easy for me to relay my message out there to find my target audience. And the third one is I actually had to learn my products. In order for me to sell better to the public or to sell better to my target audience, I needed to learn my products. I needed to learn my fire alarm products, my camera products, and also my security products in order for me to create the ads that's going to get you to think this guy or this company is the one for me. So as I continue to hustle and learn all at the same time, still getting leads from like Angie's List, Home Advisor, and also Thumbtack, I came across an ad from New York City, and what they was doing was giving free business workshops. And within that workshop is where I found out about the minority certification. I wasn't a year in business, and I was still 6 months within that business, so I had to wait a year to file my taxes in order for me to actually apply for the certifications. But fast forward, I applied for the certification, and we come all the way up until now. 10 years later, a decade, still doing the same thing, going through the ups and downs. I built a network of electrical contractors, general contractors, to where we share our resources together, bid on projects, win them, and then we filter it down. I do the fire alarm and security, he's do the electrician, he's do the painting and plumbing, whatever it is, the scope of work. Each of us take our scope of work because we share our resources together, and we just increase our network. So with this clear path I have in the Fire Alarm Business Blueprint, it's going to lay out all the steps you need in order for you to make your first dollar and continuously to keep making money. So here's your 3-step guide to getting your fire alarm license. The first one is you have to take an 81-hour course. This is the prerequisite in order for you to take the state exam. Inside of this 81-hour course, you're going to be learning things like fire code, security systems, burglar alarm systems, testing inspections of the fire alarm systems, and also NFPA and IBC codes. There's going to be a lot of information that you're going to have to absorb within this 81 hours. And at the end of that 81-hour course, you have to first pass that exam. Once you pass that exam, then you'll get certificates from that. Then you'll move on to step 2. Step 2, you will register for the state exam for your fire alarm license. You'll go register for the fire alarm license exam, go take that state exam, and once you pass that state exam, your next step after that is to submit the application. When you submit the application, you have to make sure you get your fingerprints. So go to the local PD, or you can go to identigo.com where you can take your online fingerprints. But just make sure you send the fingerprints, your application, and also the certificates that you get from your fire alarm license class, and then you send that up to the state. Couple of weeks, couple of months, you'll get your license back in the mail. You will be approved as a fire alarm contractor. If you don't have a business, you can either form your business at that point, or you could qualify another company. But I suggest before you get your fire alarm license that you actually have your business already formed. So I want to share a little backstory about this piece of paper right here. This piece of paper took me 15 times to get. You may say to yourself, damn, bro, 15? Yeah, I went in with a little bit too much arrogance. At the time, I've been in the business not even the business, I've been in the industry about 10 years. So I thought, I was a good tech. I got all these certifications. I took my license class. I know it, and I kept taking the test, and I kept failing it. At the time, I think it was like $15. So you imagine how much I spent, a couple $100 just to actually get my license. So really, after the 14th time, what I said to myself, and most people would have, stopped after the first or second one, but it took me a little more time because my arrogance was crazy. My arrogance was off the chain. However, I had to say to myself, bro, if this is what you want to do, you need to slow down, go back to the books, do some studying, and make sure the next time you go and pass that test. I knew that 15th time I was going to pass it because my confidence was different. I went there with a different type of mindset, a different attitude. I was even more better prepared. So I say that to say, because you think you know something or practically you know something, it's a whole different ball game when you're actually taking tests. So just pay attention to what you're doing. Inside the License Navigator, we give you the tools and everything you need. We give you practice test questions, over 150 of them, so that way you can study. And these are actual tests that came from past exams. So you can definitely use these to study to help you with your next test. So with all the pain and struggles that I went through, I put together the License Navigator course in 3 simple steps. So don't forget to download this cheat sheet for you. I'll leave a link in the description. I want you to be able to go and pass this fire alarm license exam with ease. Imagine investing all this money in the course, investing more money to take the 81-hour course, and then investing more money after that just to pay and take your license exam just to fail. You don't want to do all of that. I want you to go in with confidence, so when you go and take your license exam, you pass it the first time with ease. So inside the License Navigator, we have very simple steps, very simple strategies that you can follow in order for you to retain the information. Download the practice exams, download the test questions. You can download all the material that you would need in order for you to study so you can pass your license exam the first time. Don't be like me and take it 15 times. That's too much money for no reason. So I want to break down 3 reasons why most entrepreneurs fail to get their fire alarm license. And the first one is very simple. There's really not enough places out there training you how to get your fire alarm license. So I would be a little reluctant trying to even approach something that I can't even prepare myself for, or I have to invest so much money up front in order for me to actually get the information for me to take the test. Sometimes that gap of learning, I need more time to actually retain the information in order for me to actually start taking exams. And the second one is you have to invest a lot of time studying. Whether you know it or you don't know it, you have to invest in books, NFPA books, you have to invest in NICET books, you have to invest in these materials in order for you to be able to pass the license exam. And these materials are not cheap, so you have to spend thousands of dollars, hundreds of dollars, up to thousands of dollars in order for you to maintain all this material in order for you to take your state exam and to actually keep up with the codes and requirements each and every year. And like I said, my 15 times of me taking the fire alarm license was because I was overestimating my technical abilities. So I had to scale back and I had to humble myself and I had to study more, tab up my books, find resources, other resources in order for me to understand whatever I was trying to study, whatever chapter I was getting into, whatever code book I was getting into. I had to find other reference materials in order for me to understand what I was actually reading and what I was actually trying to interpret reading in these code books. So the License Navigator is here to help you prepare for the 81-hour fire alarm license course. It's going to give you all the information you need to be prepared so you can go and take that 81-hour course, pass each module confidently, and also pass that final exam so you can open the doors to take that state exam to get your license. So here are 3 action steps that you can take to help you improve your knowledge when it comes to fire alarm systems. Either you're going to pursue your fire alarm license or you want to be a better technician and get your NICET 1, 2, 3, or 4. So the first thing you want to do is join some type of professional organization, and some good ones is NFPA.org, another good one is ESA.org, and another good one is NTC.org. So the ESA is the Electronic Security Association, NTC is the National Training Center. Those are 3 good places if you want to learn anything about the NFPA codes or anything about NICET and fire alarm. The second one is the state have approved fire alarm, fire code, sprinkler, all types of of classes that you could pay for to actually get yourself certified in whatever particular area of fire that you're trying to get into. Now, the second step is you have to complete the required education and training, which is the 81-hour course, getting your modules, passing all the tests, and then you'll be eligible to take the state exam. After you take the state exam, then you can submit your paperwork up to the state, wait a few months for them to send back your application and say you were approved fire alarm contractor. So in order for you to stay on track, because I want you to get your fire alarm license, I want you to download this homework sheet. I want you to follow the steps so you could at least visualize the steps you need to take. And when you're ready to go and get your fire alarm license, you can put your money together, make the phone call, and register for your class. So I want to step back a second. The Licensed Navigator is the second step within the Fire Alarm Business Blueprint. The Fire Alarm Business Blueprint has 9 steps. It's going to take you from not knowing how to do anything about a fire alarm company to actually fully operating a fire alarm company. Setting up your central station, getting customers, sending out proposals, setting up your back end, your website, and all these different things to help you actually operate a fire alarm business. So the Fire Alarm Business Blueprint is there to get you from stuck to unstuck. I want to congratulate you from sitting through this whole entire course. This is the Licensed Navigator course. This is step 2 in the Fire Alarm Business Blueprint. So I just want to recap a little bit. So in order for you to get your fire alarm license, you know you're going to have to take an 81-hour course. You're going to have to pass all the tests within that 81-hour course. And once you finish that, you're going to have to register for the state exam. Once you pass the state exam, you can submit your application with the application fee along with your fingerprints. Once you do all of that, as long as you pass the state exam, you will be a licensed fire alarm contractor. So I'll catch you in the next video, and I appreciate you for watching. Thank you.